As the world continues its relentless march towards all things digital, the mountains of data we're uploading to the internet become more visible. Personal information about each individual is now stored on hundreds, if not thousands, of servers around the world. As a result of this, there has been an increase in identity theft. According to the FTC, identity fraud incidents increased by approximately 45% in 2020, resulting in significant financial losses for American citizens. It seems like only yesterday that the word theft conjured up images of home invasions or street muggings. While not exactly harmless, these were at least visible evils. With ID theft being the new big thing, similar risks are largely hidden. Welcome to today's episode of Fraud Files, where we'll talk about Janet Sturmer, a Virginia woman who was sentenced to 54 months in federal prison for identity theft and ordered to pay $4.4 million in restitution. We will also talk about Michael Avenatti, who received a 48-month prison sentence for identity theft and for defrauding a former client. To avoid missing any of the details in this story, make sure to watch it all the way through. Also, remember to subscribe to this channel and click the bell icon to be notified when new videos are posted. Let's get started. In Baltimore, Maryland, Janet Sturmer, 66, of Manassas, Virginia, was sentenced by U.S. District Judge George J. Hazel to 54 months in federal prison, followed by 3 years of supervised release for conspiracy to commit mail fraud, wire fraud, and aggravated identity theft. Sturmer will be required to pay $4.4 million in restitution as part of her guilty plea. United States Attorney for the District of Maryland Eric L. Barron, Special Agent in Charge Christopher Dillard of the Department of Defense, Officer of Inspector General, Defense Criminal Investigative Service, Mid-Atlantic Field Office, and Acting Special Agent in Charge Selwyn Smith of Homeland Security Investigations, Baltimore, all announced the sentence. Sturmer, according to her plea agreement, conspired with Peter Unakalu, Khalid Razak, Brandon Ross, Saulida Edie, Saul Edie, and others from October 2015 to March 2017 to commit wire fraud by posing as Navy contracted agents and convincing victim companies that conspiracy members were authorized to order specialized communications equipment without prior payment. Sturmer and her co-conspirators used fictitious identities, fictitious business names, and stolen identities of real people to lease facilities and receive fraudulently obtained goods as part of their defrauding scheme. In September 2016, for example, Sturmer and Razak submitted a commercial lease agreement and tenant information sheet with victim one's name, date of birth, driver's license number, and social security number without the victim's permission or knowledge. Razak and Sturmer eventually used the rental company to obtain high-end smartphones and tablets from a victim company. Sturmer and Razak then shipped the illegally obtained goods to California, where they were either disposed of or sold. Furthermore, in October 2016, Sturmer rented office space in Chantilly, Virginia for the purpose of receiving fraudulently obtained goods from 2 victim companies, including thousands of flat-screen televisions and communications equipment. Sturmer accomplished this by using victim 2's stolen identity and a fraudulent tax return created by Razak. Razak then arranged for the fraudulently obtained televisions to be delivered to various store locations rented by Sturmer and Razak using stolen identities. Sturmer once sent approximately 100 stolen flat screens to Ross, a co-conspirator in California. Law enforcement executed a search warrant at Sturmer's Virginia home, as stated in her guilty plea. Law enforcement recovered stolen flat-screen televisions from one victim company, cables from another, shipping records, a notebook documenting the receipt and storage of stolen flat-screen televisions, counterfeit identification documents in the names of real victims, at least 5 cell phones, and counterfeit device-making equipment, among other items. Sturmer and her co-conspirators caused a loss of more than $4.4 million to victim companies based on search warrant results, surveillance footage, and business records. Co-defendants Khalid Razak, Saul Edie, Salina Edie, and Brandon Ross were sentenced to federal prison terms of 5 years, 4 years, 30 months, and 18 months, respectively. Razak was ordered to pay over $4 million in restitution as part of his sentence, while Ross was ordered to pay $1.5 million. Troy Barber will be sentenced at a later date. United States Attorney Eric L. Barron commended the DoD, OIG, and HSI for their contributions to the investigation. Mr. Barron expressed gratitude to the FBI, the U.S. Department of Commerce, the Bureau of Industry and Security, the Office of Export Enforcement, the Naval Criminal Investigative Service, and Customs and Border Protection for their assistance in the investigation. Mr. Barron thanked the case's prosecutors, Assistant U.S. Attorney Joseph R. Baldwin and Adam K. Ake. On a similar story, Michael Avenatti received a 48-month prison sentence for identity theft and defrauding a former client. Damian Williams, United States Attorney for the Southern District of New York, announced that Michael Avenatti was sentenced to 48 months in prison for fraud and aggravated identity theft by United States District Judge Jesse M. Furman in Manhattan Federal Court. Avenatti was previously found guilty after a 2-week jury trial on February 4, 2022. Lawyers have a duty to be loyal advocates for their clients, said U.S. Attorney Damian Williams. Michael Avenatti, far from being a loyal advocate for his client, stole her identity and money to line his own pockets. Avenatti will now serve a significant prison sentence for his heinous crimes and betrayal of his client. The following allegations were made in the indictment, court documents, and evidence presented at trial. Avenatti first met Stormy Daniels in February 2018, where she was looking for an attorney to help her with a non-disclosure agreement she had signed with President Donald Trump. Daniels later signed a book deal to publish her memoir, and Avenatti, posing as her attorney and acting in her best interests, stole a portion of the advance on that deal by instructing her literary agent to transfer the funds to a bank account controlled by Avenatti. Avenatti specifically stole 2 installments of Daniels' book advance, totaling $297,500. Avenatti forwarded to Daniels' literary agent a fraudulent and unauthorized letter purporting to be from Daniels and bearing her signature, directing that future payments be sent to an Avenatti-controlled bank account. Avenatti, in fact, wrote the letter himself, never received authorization from Daniels, and had Daniels' signature copied and pasted from another document onto the letter without her permission. After sending the fraudulent letter to Daniels' literary agent, Avenatti received a $148,750 installment of Daniels' advance, which he promptly spent on personal and business expenses. When Daniels inquired about why she had not received the payment, Avenatti lied, telling her that her publisher had not made the payment. Avenatti obtained a personal loan to pay $148,750 to Daniels approximately 1 month after diverting the payment, after Daniels threatened to go directly to her publisher about the missing payment, so that Daniels would not realize that Avenatti had previously taken and used Daniels' money. A short time later, Avenatti put pressure on the publisher to make the next installment payment early, ostensibly at Daniels' request, but in reality without her knowledge. Avenatti soon received that installment, a payment of $148,750, which he spent on his own. Daniels repeatedly asked Avenatti about the missing payment for months after he stole it, and when he falsely claimed again that the publisher had not made the payment, she asked that Avenatti, as her lawyer, assist her in obtaining the book payment. Avenatti continued to lie, claiming that he was fighting on her behalf with the publisher when, as he knew, the publisher had made the payment early, but that he had stolen it. At the same time, Avenatti, claiming to be Daniels' attorney, instructed her publisher and literary agent not to respond to direct requests for information from Daniels. Avenatti, age 51, of Los Angeles, California, was also sentenced to 3 years of supervised release, as well as restitution and forfeiture. Avenatti is currently serving a 30-month sentence in United States v. Avenatti, 19 CR 373, imposed by Judge Paul G. Gardeff for extorting Nike Incorporated. In this case, 30 months of imprisonment were imposed concurrently with Avenatti's other sentence, and the remainder will run concurrently. Mr. Williams praised the Federal Bureau of Investigation and the special agents of the United States Attorney's Office for the Southern District of New York for their efforts. The cases are being handled by the Public Corruption Unit of the office. The prosecution is led by Assistant United States Attorneys Matthew Podolsky, Robert B. Sobelman, and Andrew A. Rohrbach. And here we come to the end of today's Fraud Files episode about Janet Strumer, a Virginia woman who was sentenced to 54 months in federal prison for identity theft and ordered to pay $4.4 million in restitution, and Michael Avenatti, who received 48-month prison sentence for identity theft and for defrauding a former client. Stick to your identity. It's too complicated a life already to be more than one person. We hope you enjoyed watching the video. If so, please subscribe to our channel and hit the like button. By clicking the bell icon, you can stay tuned to our channel for more amazing videos like this one. Don't forget to share your thoughts on this event in the comments section below. We'll see you in the next Fraud Files.